Hey guys, welcome to Meridia, and it's your boy Regis. We are going to show you how to do this match, destroy the eggs without dying. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it is actually super easy to do that in this match. And I'm going to do it without stealthing. Absolutely zero stealth in this. Well, I guess splitting up is a type of stealth. But anyway, these here, throw a grenade at them. That's how you open them. Boop. Done. I will be doing mostly gathering up samples in this mission because that's what I'm basically interested in. I'm struggling for common samples. As you can see, the other guys are basically balls deep in the enemy right now. There was no reason for them to be balls deep in the enemy because they could have just ran past them, but it's an average match with randoms. It happens. You know, they're having fun, let them have fun. But yeah, they're drawing every enemy to us because they're fighting us. And as you can see, I'm basically ignoring the enemies. I will take pot shots here and there, but I'm more interested in getting samples and clearing out this tree that we are away to come up to. Now, I call it a tree. It's actually a spore. Well, I guess it is a spore. Spore tower, that's the one. I was like, what the hell is it? Yeah, these here are bug tunnels. Fairly simple. They spawn bugs. Self-explanatory. Throw a grenade down the hole, use a stratagem, blah, blah, blah. Basically, anything that explodes them works on them. These little bugs, you're better off just meleeing them if you can. Just run up to them, just punch them in the face. They die instantly, especially if you get them in the face. Now, I am not the best at aiming grenades down this hole, as you'll see during this match. But I am, like I say, more interested in the actual samples than I am in the mission objectives, because the others, they'll be doing the mission objectives. I'm off on my own, not because I don't want to work with them, but it's just easier since they're attracting all the enemies. These spore trees, incendiary weapons, or explosive weapons like I have, will kill them at range. You can just blow them up. You can use stratagem if you get close enough. You can use normal weapons if you really, really have to. There's like yellow nodules all over the underside of the spore thing. You pop enough of them, the whole thing collapses. But generally speaking, at Helldiver difficulty, you're probably using incendiary, explosive, the breaker, something like that. You know, something that can fire at range and break it. Now, I am attracting a buckload of enemies here. They're chasing after me, the chargers included. You'll also see that though chargers are a pain in the ass, and they are the bane of my existence in this game, you can generally ignore them. Yes, they can charge at you, and yes, they are fast. But if you jump down a little chasm like this, or you take a sharp left or a sharp turn, they find it difficult to actually keep up with you. As you can see, I am basically just ignoring the enemies. Very sound strategy. I'm taking the odd shot because I have to. Stalkers are a pain in the ass because they can catch up to you. But generally, if you just keep going, you'll be fine. Don't be afraid to slow down a little bit, let your stamina come back a little bit, and do a little bit. Basically, allows you to travel a little bit faster. Because the further you get away from the bugs, the less bugs will actually chase you. They lose interest. They go back to what they were doing. But my teammates are actually engaging them right now, and another team over there, which has caused another bug to signal, which means they've got a bug breach. And that's what happens when you take on big groups. Or just be very, very loud around bugs. There'll be one bug that will immediately signal, hey, we need help, and you'll get a bug breach. And I've ignored it. I'm moving on. It's not the most exciting way to play the game. It isn't. But it is going to mean that we, one, get a bunch of samples, I did not get them all. I wish I had stayed around longer, but I was with random, so you can't really predict what they're going to do like you can if you're playing with friends and that. So I'm just running around grabbing whatever samples I'm bumping into, essentially. I don't know where the samples are. Meridia isn't a planet I normally fight on. It isn't like a standard planet for me. And always use your radar. If you are off doing something, don't just run aimlessly into an area. Now, I've run right back to where we began, but that's because I need ammo. If I remember correctly, I jumped down this hole to grab some of the ammo. Nope. No, I ran past. Never mind. It doesn't matter. Either way, I'm running on. The reason I'm not calling in a resupply is because I'm on my own. I don't want to use a resupply for myself when the other three are fighting enemies. I want them to have it. But I quickly realized they weren't actually using the supply things because they were dying a lot. So they didn't need them. Because when you die, you come back with your supplies. Not always with all of your supplies. You will sometimes come back with only half the supplies, like half grenades, half the magazines for them. I am taking a couple of pot shots here and there. I'm not overly bothered about killing every enemy in sight. I do a little run around here because this little guy here, they like to block you. They'll walk sideways as you're trying to get around them, like a crab. They'll just sidewalk all the way around and they'll block you, while their friends and that gather around you. Now, like I say, I'm not an expert gamer on Helldiver difficulty. It's not my usual difficulty I play on. I was just like, hey, I'm in the mood for something super hard. Turned out this wasn't a super hard mission. It could have been. But here I am, making full use of this shield. And this is what the shield is actually for, by the way. It is not to make you invincible in a battle. It is not to make it easier for you to win fights. It's so you don't get one-shotted by enemies. Well, by most enemies. There are enemies that can still one-shot you. But generally speaking, this shield will take a good few critical hits before you take any damage. Now, I just grabbed some stims on the way past there. Because obviously I needed to slap a few stims in me. Now, constantly I was running out of grenades, so I kind of had to rely on my stratagems a lot, which meant a lot of running around in circles, leading the enemies around, and things like that. Completely legitimate way to play this, by the way. It's not the most exciting way of playing it, obviously. That's why you don't see a lot of videos of people just doing this. But, hey, you can stealth these missions, or you can do it like I do. If the other half of your team is basically drawing most of the enemies away, there is zero reason for you not to run off and go grab samples, go grab credits, go grab stuff that they're nowhere near, because they're drawing all the attention. Now, I have a lot of attention on me right now. It doesn't look like it, but trust me, I have a lot more attention on me than even I realized at this point. I was like, I'm just gonna melee these, and then I noticed the big goo bugs coming after me, and I'm running around, and I'm like, oh, okay, there's a few more enemies. That's fine. There's nothing too dramatic. I can deal with this. A few stratagems here and there. Take out as many of these bug holes as I can. That way, when we extract, there's less enemies. But a bug breach right on my dick, right here. And this, I believe, spawned a Bile Titan on that one. So I got chased for quite a bit here. Just meleeing any little bug that gets them away. Because the bugs like to block you. And now I've noticed it still says, hey, there's still tunnels here, even though it said that the nest area had been taken out. not the nest. This area had been taken out. There was still a bug hole I needed to take out for it to be properly taken out. It happens sometimes, but I have to run around. I've got no grenades, so I was like, you know what? Here's a supply beacon out. Since the others aren't using it, I might as well use it since I'm the one that's needing it. I constantly run out of ammo. I constantly run out of grenades. I've been in a few matches where literally every weapon I had no ammo. We couldn't call in any supply runs because people were just spawning the resupply things willy-nilly all over the place. And it was like, when we actually need the supplies, we can't get any. And then when we don't need them, you're spawning them everywhere. I mean, what was the point? As you can see, one of our team has left because they're like, oh, it's too difficult. I'm going to leave. That is the wrong thing to do. Even if you're struggling through a match, and I mean struggling. This hole just did not want to blow up, by the way. I swear to God, 2 of those grenades went in that hole, and only 1 of them worked. As I said, not the best at using grenades on those bug holes. Plus, I use contact grenades, which are the worst for using on those things because they just explode when they touch anything. You're better off using the normal grenades for it. And yeah, a bunch of stalkers just spawned over there, so I'm getting chased by these little fuckers. Actually, these aren't stalkers. These are the little version of the stalkers. Weirdly enough, I think I only get attacked by like 1 actual stalker, like the big boys that go off, the ones that can go invisible. But yeah, I'm basically, as you can see, I'm pretty much ignoring everything that's happening behind me. I'm being chased. I was keeping an eye on the shadows because this is a lot of the bug planets are very sunny. There's shadows everywhere, and if you keep an eye on the shadows, you can actually tell if a charger is going to be right up your ass. And with chargers, if you don't want to kill them, it's actually a really good thing to let them almost hit you and then jump out of the way because they can't stop. They'll fly right past you on this. So yeah, don't be afraid to just let the chargers come at you. And as you can see, I am grabbing as much of these samples as I can. This is the other reason why I'm not stopping to really fight the enemies, because I've got a lot of samples on me at this point, and I don't want to lose them. I can pick them up if I die, but there's also a high chance that that one of my teammates will be like, oh, I need to be spawned, and spawn me the other side of the map. Now, I didn't realize at this point, but they are actually on their way here to this nest. Because when I was doing this, I didn't actually realize they had destroyed the second nest. So I'm running around in circles because I'm like, hey, I haven't got anything that can pop those eggs really, really fast. The best weapon I found for those eggs, by the way, is the incendiary shotgun. Because it sprays fire, those eggs just pop. They just explode. Now, as you can see, this guy tried to block me. And I'm just like, no, give me my rope. The weapon I'm using isn't the best for the bugs, but it is the best at taking out armor. So, yeah. This is the premium rifle, the white one with the explosive rounds. The name of it's gone completely out of my head. But basically, it's the breaker, but an explosive version of it. And the incendiary one I was talking about is basically, it's the orange breaker that shoots fire, essentially. That's it. The names of weapons have gone completely out of my head, but it doesn't really matter, because they're essentially the same weapon. There's the breaker, there's the fire version of the breaker, and then there's the explosive version of the breaker. So yeah, and I'm using the explosive one right here. It supposedly does medium armor penetration. That is bullshit at higher difficulties like this one. It will go through armor eventually. As you can see, I was having problems actually getting to this fucking thing because I was taking damage. Because chargers have a little aura around them. So even if they don't hit you, if you touch that aura, you take damage. So they're fucking annoying. Like that. Yeah, they're the worst enemy for me to fight. I absolutely hate it. Hate chargers with a passion. Stalkers are like the second most annoying, but chargers are the worst. So my teammates have actually arrived. We briefly saw one there. But yeah, they've ran over. They've realized, oh shit, I've actually woken up everyone in the universe here, and they are correct. I absolutely have. Also, this gun, I can't decide whether aiming or just wild firing the thing is the better option. Because sometimes when you aim, it takes a lifetime to actually track an enemy, and then other times it's like instantly on them. It's weird, but it's still in my top 3 favorite weapons to use just now. Basically, it goes this one, the explosive version of the breaker, the incendiary version of the breaker is the number 2 slot, and the breaker is literally the number 1 slot. The railgun, oh my god. It's a good weapon. It can penetrate stuff. It's okay. Personally, I don't really like it. It's kind of meh to me. I prefer the orbital rail because it doesn't miss, and it targets the biggest thing that's around you and blows it up. One-shots it. Yeah, this is a hive tyrant. This little bastard can spawn other bugs around it and constantly doing it, but I ignore him because I'm on mission. I want to keep the samples that are on me. I also want to make sure that I don't get killed by this Bile Titan, which there's a couple of close calls. I really did think I was going to die here. I was like, oh my god, I'm going to have to fight my ass off to get here. Still being chased by enemies, and I decide, you know, best time to stop for supplies, for samples, is when I've clearly got a charger charging at me and a Bile Titan on my ass. It's perfect timing. But yeah, these little stalker guys, they are super fast, and the annoying thing about them isn't that they're tough, it's that they can jump like halfway across the map at you. It is insane. When you see one take a full jump at you, it is insane. It is insane how far they can actually jump. Yeah, that tongue you're seeing right there, that's a stalker. That, without this shield, that would have made me go flying. I would have went flying halfway across the map. But okay, maybe not that extreme, but at least a good couple of meters away. And because their tongue does this little slow effect on you, I think it's like a goo or something like that they put on you, it slows you right down for ages. So yeah, I'm basically running around at this point. The extraction zone is over there, but I'm trying to lure the enemy away from the extraction zone. This is the only time where splitting up is... it's kind of 50-50 whether it works or not. As you see, a patrol just spawned right in front of my face there. So I've decided to go the other way. This strategy, by the way, also works against the robots. But it's actually easier with the robots because the robots don't actually attack you unless you attack them. Or you just run directly in front of them. Because their eyes are sensors and they're forward facing. Literally, if you don't go in front of them, you can just walk right past them. You don't even have... most of the time, you don't even have to crouch. You don't have to sneak. You can literally just run past them, and they'll completely ignore you. That goes for the Hulks. That goes for the standard soldiers. It goes for all of them. You can use stratagems on them, and as long as you don't reveal where you are, the robots will continue to ignore you. Now, I did try to take this guy's leg out, but he's still got a bit of armor on it, so I was like, leave that guy to it. Now, this may not seem like a very, in the spirit of teamwork here, but there is a lot of teamwork going on here, even though these other two guys don't realize there's some teamwork, because they're basically just trying to stay alive at this point. This is actually extremely good, because everyone is in different places and going different ways, the enemies are split. They're chasing everyone. Because the robots and the bugs do the same thing in this situation. They will target the one that is dishing out the highest damage. So if you are blasting your breaker into one of their faces, you will get every enemy in the area that isn't already attacking someone attacking you. They'll just focus on you. Like this Bile Titan is chasing me because I was directly in front of it. No one's really shooting them. Plus I dropped a 500k on its head. So, you know. And I'm just, at this point, trying to just stay alive as long as I can, because I do not want to lose all these samples that I've collected. Like I say, I am struggling for commons right now. The other ones, I'm pretty good on, but commons, ooh, nah. It is a slog trying to get them. But yeah, this may not be the most like action-packed episode in the world, but yeah, this is just want to show you guys this is a legitimate strategy you can use, and it is a strategy. Splitting up is a very viable thing, and a lot of the expert players in this, better players than I am at this, will tell you the same. Just split up, go into 2 groups of 2 and just go somewhere else. Or hell, if you're really confident enough, 4 people just going off and doing their own things. You can turn a 30-minute match into a 15-minute round. You know? A 15-minute match. You can basically cut the time in half. You don't have to be in a match for the entire 30 to 40 minutes. There's no reason to do it. If you don't have to, that is. As you can see, the landing zone's getting swarmed. This is typical of the bugs. They'll absolutely just swarm the actual blue light in the middle. But as long as you don't get caught like I almost did, you should be fine to just exit. But yeah, also one more thing. Level 50s can die just as easily as a level 1. The level is not a mark of how good you are, it just means you've unlocked things, because that's all it is. It's just an unlock system. It does not mean a level 50 player is good. It just means they've unlocked everything. So, on that note, we are away to see what rewards we got here. It was actually pretty good. These two were in good spirits after this. And we did almost everything, which is good. We missed out the radar complex, but that's fine. We extracted, we blew up everything. Everything's kosher. So thank you for joining me. Like, subscribe, comment if you have a comment. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye. Woo! Also, got a ton of medals there. Woo!